Welcome to Corp, a bi-weekly podcast where we reach into the imagosphere and pull out the next great video game idea. I am the CEO of Corp, Bryce.
And I'm the CEO of Corp, Beckers.
Last time on this podcast, we had The Talk. How'd that go?
Well, Bryce, The Talk was a brilliant success. It became so popular and it went all across the country. It inspired a lot of little tweens to learn about the truth. And it just totally took the problem out of their parents' hands. And also, we're currently in talks with public schools about taking over the birds and the bees section of their curriculum. So it went super good. It went super good.
It was a game about making sex too scary for that no one would want to do it.
Yeah.
And they want us to teach people after that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I just want to take a moment at the top of this podcast to talk to one of our fine competitors. Mr. Nintendo, I would like a word with you, please. You know, we've been over here for years, just watching you make your little entertainment devices, your Nintendos and your Super Nintendos, and we haven't said a word because we're just like, you're fine. We're gonna make our good games, and you can have a game about a plumber because that's what the kids want. But when you guys announced a new Pokemon and there was no stakes in there, we threw you a bone. We said, hey, we know you haven't been doing great lately. We're going to give this one to you. I did not see Dr. Mime in there. None of our great ideas made it into the product. And then after that insult that you did to us, I saw that Reggie Fils-Aimé is retiring and you're putting Bowser in charge of your company. That level of hilarity is not allowed in your company. That is our thing. You cannot take that from us. That is ours. Give it back, please. Bowser, who now runs Nintendo. How dare you? How dare you, Nintendo? Beckers, you got anything to say to Mr. Nintendo while we're talking to him?
Who is Mr. Nintendo?
Everybody's uncle works at Nintendo.
Hey, you're a bad man.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay. Beckers, if people want to submit video game ideas to a good game company, how would they do that?
First of all, maybe they could hop on the Twitter machine and they could put, hey, I have a game idea. Why don't we use ducks to run the government? And that's the game. And then put hashtag GameMateCorp, and that's all you have to do. Actually, I'm going to write that down because that sounds pretty good. Hold on a second.
A game about ducks that control the government.
Anyways, that's how easy it is. Right there. Just come up with something, put it in there, and then that's really nice. And then we'll say your name on the podcast if we like it, which we will, because you don't have a lot of competition. So we'll use it, we'll talk about it, and you'll be famous, just like us, because we're famous. Yes. That's how you do it.
Well, until people submit game ideas, I've been forced to come up with my own.
And that's been awful.
This is what I have. Watching a movie you love with someone who isn't really into it. Now, I think we've all experienced that moment when you've been dating someone who has bad taste in movies. And really, I think that's something we need to accept about other people, is sometimes they're just bad people. And we just need to get by that. But I think we can gamify this and really make it a relatable experience for people. So you put on a very good movie, like the hit movie Space Jam, and you can tell that they're kind of Michael Jordan is hanging out with the Looney Tunes. I only watch ducks. I just watch movies
Run the government.
about ducks. So it's basically, this is a game about making them love the movie that they normally wouldn't. The movie's doing its best. The movie's already great. It's the problem with them that we need to all like agree on, is that it's their fault that they don't like Space Jam. So you need to associate the movie Space Jam with happiness. So I think they come, they sit down, watch Space Jam, you put the movie on, and then when you start to see them kind of go like, pull out their phone and stuff, you just like give them ice cream. You just kind of shove some ice cream in their face, and they're like, ice cream. And their eyes are like, you gotta turn their head towards the movie. So when they see Michael Jordan, they associate with the taste of delicious ice cream, and they go, I like Michael Jordan. I like him and his Looney Tune actions, because they associate with the good times. What do you got, Beckers?
I think you're training people to love Michael Jordan.
I mean, shouldn't we all?
It's like you're training a dog. They want to do a trick. They want to watch the Space Jam because you give them tasty treats.
I mean, are you suggesting that's not how you run a relationship?
No, it's worked very well for me. Obviously, he's very well trained. He doesn't listen to the podcast, so I'm fine. Yeah, that's how it works for sure.
Yeah, and then I think then you can also do the reverse, is that whenever they watch other movies, that you can just really subtly like pinch their leg, so that when they watch other movies, they're like, oh, I associate this with bad times. So they just have really strong happiness associated with Space Jam, and all other movies suck in their mind, because they're always like, every time I watch the Wild Thornberrys movie, it just hurts. It hurts me. Physically, actually. It's weird how that happens. I don't know what's causing this, but I really like Space Jam now.
So are you saying that you're going to punish them when they watch movies outside of your preferred genres?
Just a little poking with a needle. I don't know how that's punishment. That's just a little suggestion that maybe this is a bad one. Maybe they chose wrong. This is a video game about making them love
spousal abuse.
Good movies.
Because it sounds like spousal abuse.
Well, I mean, not everybody has to marry the first person they watch a movie with.
Domestic abuse.
Okay, that's more accurate. How would you make them like the very good Space Jam movie?
First of all, I think that every movie I like, everyone should like.
Okay.
And if they don't like it, then we're not dating, so it's fine.
Then they're not a real person anymore, and nobody, like, you can't be upset that the lamp doesn't like the movie because they're not a person.
Yeah. Okay, that's sure. Yep.
And then sometimes the lamp goes, why did you invite me over if you're just gonna ignore me all the time and keep trying to pull my arm like I'm a light switch? And then you just have to throw the lamp out and get a new lamp. And this one likes Space Jam, so it's actually a real person.
Yeah, and then you love that lamp and you marry it. And you have little hybrid lamp people. Children.
Okay. Beckers, do you have a game idea?
We were finally getting somewhere, but all right. Okay, we'll move on. So some people in this podcast said that it couldn't be done. So I took that as a challenge to do it. And it's taken like 2 extra episodes, but here it is. I've come up with a game idea, and the game is called Skip, Skip, Skidoo.
Yes.
So this is the game where you play.
Yes.
You're like a small child or something.
Go on.
You know, something smallish.
So something that's small. Could be a lamp.
And the goal of the game is you need to get from one end of a field or something to the other. But it's covered in dog poop.
I can tell that you have really thought out all the details of this game by the amount of times that you've said the word something, because that's the code word for very good game.
Skip, skip, skidoo.
Okay, so it's a game about skipping over dog poo.
Yeah, so you have to skip over the do. Skip, skip, skidoo. Skip, skip, skidoo.
Shouldn't it be called skip over poo?
Skip over poo? No. Skip do. Skip skidoo.
Okay.
And I'm thinking it's like a 2D game, kind of like Mario style. You know?
I don't recognize that person.
Oh, you've never. Oh, well, he's a plumber.
No, nobody.
It makes a lot of sense in context. He wears overalls. Well, plumbers don't wear overalls, do they? Because of the whole crack thing. You're supposed to have a plumber's crack. Otherwise, you're not a plumber and they don't give you your plumbing badge. And you have to go back to the Girl Scouts without your plumber badge.
What? Okay.
Yeah. Skip skidoo. It's 2D and you can do little jumps, but you're moving really, really fast. So you have to your timing has to be very good.
Can it be on the old Nintendo track and field mat, which is basically a DDR mat? It's like the original DDR mat. People don't talk about that enough, but Nintendo made the first DDR, and it was a bad one. An old
track and field mat, and because I've heard it's actually really successful to release games in current time on old systems with old outdated technology. I've heard that that's something wise.
Nobody else is putting out a game. You're sitting on your NES and you're like, I've had this for so long. When am I going to get a new game? Game Corp's gotcha. We are looking out for the consumers. Unlike Nintendo. Nintendo, when's the last time you put out a game for NES? You haven't, have you? Game Corp's got your... Game Corp has been helping Nintendo secretly for years, and they have ignored us. And I'm tired of it.
I feel like if people released games for old consoles, it would be successful. So we're gonna do that. That's a new part of my idea. Skip, skidoo, NES, track and field. Gotta skip over the do, and it's great. And also sometimes there'll be things that you don't want to skip over. You can hit them for points.
Okay.
Right?
Like, what would you?
Like, okay, well, I think it should be brown because it should like blend in. And so that you have to make a snap decision whether or not you're going to skip it.
Okay.
Skip the do. And okay, so I'm thinking like a chocolate cupcake. Be hard to differentiate.
And you definitely want to skip on a chocolate cupcake.
Okay, well, it's like any game, you'll just land on power-ups to pick them up.
Okay.
So you pick up the cupcake and you get 50 points. That's like the equivalent of skipping 50 turds. 50 doos.
One brownie equals 50 poop.
Yeah, and the more that you skip skidoo, the more stuff you unlock. Maybe now you can play as Scooby-Doo, and his name takes on a whole new meaning. Scooby-Doo, skippin' skidoo.
Scuba-Doo.
Zoinks, dude.
Hey, guess what? I have an announcement.
Oh, chicken butt.
I have an announcement to all our great Game Corp listeners. The next game idea I have for you is already out. We already released it.
Oh my god.
And you have it. Congratulations, Zane Delaney in Washington, the good one. Washington State. We have given you our new video game. Now, here's the thing about it. This video game is a very good one. It is probably the best game we've ever made, but I cannot give you more details on it because that will ruin it. Now, this is a game that we have given all of our listeners. All of our loyal Gaming Corp listeners have this on their hard drive, but we wanted to make it a little bit more interesting. We released our best game ever. We're giving it to you for free too. We can't just make it easy. We can't just go, just go to the website, download this deal. No, we put it on a hard drive and you have to find it, but we made it special where to activate this game, you have to click the delete button. You have to delete it to be able to launch it. Somewhere on your computer is our new game. And if you click on it and click delete, it'll launch. But you have to figure out which game or which file it is. Is it the file that looks like your 6th grade diploma for eating all the macaroni? Because that's all you did in 6th grade was eat that macaroni.
What's wrong?
What's wrong is that they haven't found it yet. I am looking at my screen and no one has launched our very good game. Listeners, go onto your computer hard drive, click all of the buttons, and find the file that is our new very good video game. I know we have hidden it so that it will look like the other computer files, and it probably won't be an exe. It's probably going to be that picture of your high school girlfriend that she doesn't know you still have because you still have emotions for her. And yeah, that's relatable.
Good game idea, Bryce.
Thank you. Hey, go into your hard drive and find the new video game idea. Backers, that's it. I've made my announcement. People know about the game. I'll let people know when they found it. And it's very good, and we're going to get the great reviews.
Maybe the journey to the game is the game.
No, it's an actual game. You just got to click the delete file on find it, delete the files, and then you'll find it.
And all the friends you make along the way.
Okay.
Okay, so it's time. It's the best part of every podcast. It's time for the investor shout out. And for today, I've prepared a poem for Aaron C., our investor. It goes like this. Roses are red, violets are blue, colors are swell, and so are you. Did you enjoy that? Because you too could be shouted out during the podcast, and all you have to do is go to patreon.com/lastgeek and sign up to be an investor in our great company, and then you too could be poemed on during the podcast, or maybe serenaded next time, possibly, or maybe even
a third thing.
Yeah, what could that third thing be? Who knows? You don't. That's because you're not an investor yet, probably. So do that. Yeah. Yep. So now that that's done, I have a game.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay. So as an avid mobile gamer who wastes a lot of money on these phone games, I got to thinking that it's time for Game Make Corp to come up with our very own pay-to-win mobile game. Because, you all have phones. So there. All right, Bryce. Give me something that's popular.
Me.
Give that another go.
Pizza.
Okay, so we're going to make a game where the theme is about pizza.
Yes.
So all of these mobile games that get really popular and you pay money to do better, they all have like this element where you're working on some kind of team, like a guild or a clan or something. And then you have to face off against other groups of people and try to be the best. Right? That's how they all go. Is there's some element of competition and teamwork that is the heart and soul of pay to win games. Because it gives you drive to be the best. Like no one ever was. So Bryce.
Go on.
What kind of competition is this?
You gotta make pizzas?
Make pizzas. Good idea. And whatever team makes the best pizzas, they win.
So you're making pizzas.
And you could do some kind of like weekly race between all of the different
toppings.
Pizza people. We're gonna call them kitchens or something. I don't know. Groups of people gonna be called a kitchen. So you team up with 8 other pizzazzes. 8 other people to form a
pizzazzes is a pizza cooker. I have one.
#ad. So you team up with 8 other people to make a group of people called a pizzazz. And
you team up with 8 other people to make up a group of people. And then
so you and your pizzazz compete every week with a different pizzazz to create more pizzas and higher quality pizzas. And you can unlock more toppings as you level up. And
I thought, what would the different teams be? Because I figured you'd like pick like, I'm pepperoni. You could pick like different kinds of pizzas, because then you could be like, oh, I'm pineapple on pizza. And people would be like, oh no, they're the worst team. They're like the yellow team. Like, everybody hates them.
Okay, pineapple on pizza is amazing.
You're yellow, aren't you? Aren't you?
You're probably a freaking anchovy.
I'm clearly pepperoni. So it's a game about cooking pizza, and then how do you why?
To beat the other people. That's it. That's the goal. That's the goal of all of these games, is to win.
Yeah, and then how do we benefit?
How do we benefit?
Yeah.
We benefit by providing options for upgrades.
Okay.
That people can purchase to increase their chances of doing well in this game.
Like a pizza oven. Or one of those big paddles that they do, and then like flip the thing over, and you're like, ooh, you're a real pizza man.
Sure, and then that makes the pizza quality better.
Yeah.
But it can't be like too overt, otherwise people won't play it or they'll get angry about it. So it's got to be something like, there has to be a huge chance element to this game, right? And I'm not sure how yet. Maybe you...
Chance McGillicuddy will be in it, and he'll be the star pizza man. He's the best chance.
I don't know who that is. I can feel the life leaving my body right now. My soul just left my body. I'm so done with this right now. This isn't panning out. Pizza pan, get it?
So that's a mobile game about pizza called Panning Out, and if you give us lots of money, we'll let you win.
Oh my god, you're so right. We're gonna call this Panning Out. It's so good. And you'll just be a better pizza maker if you pay a lot of money.
Yeah. Beckers, I know we've said a lot of bad video game ideas right now, and I know Nintendo's probably listening right now and is probably trying to write them down, because that's what they do. Reggie, you know what you did, and you were going to apologize before you left, but it's too late now, so now the grudge lives. So I have a video game idea.
Okay.
And it's a personality test. You know how the people like personality tests. They're always going on the BuzzFeed and the www.personalitytest.com to do
It's like
those.
what Disney princess I am.
Which one are you?
I don't know. It depends on all the tests I take.
Okay, so
I'm Belle.
you do not seem like a Belle in any way.
How so?
Belle read a lot of books and stayed at home and only punched like 3 dudes.
That actually, those are the very few things I have in common with Belle.
Is that you read books and punch dudes?
And I stay at home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except, well, she also shit-talked their town a lot. She also walked around the market just shit-talking people. And that was maybe a bad thing for her to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're going to hook these people in with a personality test. The game launches up, and it's called Dispasta. And I'm going to come up with a better name, but for right now it's called Dispasta. So starts off with a personality test and asks you, like, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite food? If you gonna do a crime, what kind of crime would it be?
Arson.
Okay. And then
what kind of crime would you do?
Grand Theft Auto. Nobody wants to do non-Grand Theft Auto. No one wants to do Theft Auto and just like, this car is not worth enough for it to be called Grand Theft Auto. Because
yeah, I guess like if you're gonna do it, you might as well do Grand Theft, you know?
Yeah, because if you're stealing a car and it's not worth enough for it to be called Grand Theft Auto, what were you even doing?
You know, probably they should update that term because a grand isn't what it used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should be like 10 Grand Theft Auto.
Well, everyone's gonna love saying that.
Yeah, that's the next one coming out.
Yep.
10 Grand Theft Auto.
This is leading into our next podcast. We're renaming the laws. Murder? No, that one never sounded right. We're calling that the long snuggle. You gave that man the long snuggle. You snuggled him, and so it's the long one.
Maybe you should leave that part to me.
Well, for right now, we're going to make game ideas, and this is a personality test. And it starts off with a personality test about everything, about your life. It really gets to know you as a person. And I think we don't really need to tell people what the personality test is about. We just be like, we'll put it like, this is the greatest personality test ever. And people will be like, oh, I'll see about that. Do you know how many? I've sorted myself into Hogwarts houses 17 times. I'm an expert on personality tests. And they take that personality test. And the screen pops up. It just says, thank you. And then asks you to create an avatar. And you're like, oh, is this part of the personality test? And then you're dropped into an MMO world. And it says, find yourself. And you have to find that it has generated a NPC based on the personality that you have given us. And it likes the things you like. It, really wants to do arson. And it's out there. It doesn't look like you. You can't just go up to them and be like, hey, this one looks like me. I'm gonna pick this one out. But you have to find yourself in this big world full of NPCs that we've generated, NPCs that other people's personalities have generated, and you have to figure out which one is yours and kill them in the game before they become self-aware and take over your life.
And you have to do this by taking them all on dates and finding out who they are as a person.
All of them.
Trick them into liking you and spilling their secrets.
I mean, I think that is the primary way to do it, because you only get one life in this game. You start it up, and if you die, you die for good. So if you go around killing, I do think they're probably going to kill back, and then your real your NPCs is going to get away scot-free, and then he's going to come out of the game looking for you. And maybe that already happened to the CEO of this company.
Maybe that already happened.
I said that one.
Maybe it already happened.
Okay.
I just really wanted to whisper. Because it sounds like fun.
You just love those ASMRs.
Titties. Titty. Butts.
So what do you think of this?
Skip, skidoo. I think it's a good idea.
Yes.
I think we should call it Finding Yourself.
Ooh. I was thinking, I wondered if something about like doppelganger or something like that.
Doppelgangbanged. But they don't look like you, do they?
No. So
it doesn't work.
But it's you, but like in a different body. And so what's that? What's it? It's you, but not you. It's still your doppelganger. It's single white female. It's a game single white female in you, slowly taking over your life by learning about you. Ooh, that's another. Okay. So I think the NPC knows you're looking for it. So it's like, I think it's, I wonder if that would make it too hard, because then they'd just lie. That you'd go up to them and be like, how do you feel about arson? And be like, oh, I'd never do that. That's not my thing. I hate
But I know myself, and I would lie.
So, because I was gonna be like, maybe if you are taking them on dates, then your doppelganger is like secretly watching from the shadows of like trying to like learn more information about you that you didn't include in the personality test. So like, I think you have one kill. You can try and kill one person, and so you have to be able to figure out. I think you can ask any of the NPCs questions, but you have to figure out a question that you know, that only you would know, that you could ask someone and no one else would be like, how do you feel?
I would ask myself, if you had to live on a desert island and you could only eat one thing forever, what food would it be? And I would say banana runts. That's the only one I would do. That's very unique to me. What's your question?
And then you'd murder the person who said,
and then
really
I would murder myself.
And which would be good,
so that
because
I couldn't take over myself.
Yes. Unless you really love yourself. This would be very good for vain people. Well, it depends on what kind of level of love that is, because maybe they just come out of the game and then maybe they're just your best friend. They decide that they love you themselves too much to kill you. So
I was gonna say, we might just team up, you know? So I could only have to go to work half the time. Be dope.
But you'd have to support two of you. You'd have to have two.
Yeah.
So then I think you would just both have to go to work all of the time for different jobs.
Nah.
I think that's how humans work, I think.
Nah, because you see, we would only have one rent bill.
That's called having a roommate.
Yeah, I'd have a roommate, but it would be me.
Okay. I would ask it. Oh, see, I gotta figure out what is something that like my girlfriend wouldn't know. What if it was my girlfriend's NPC and they're trying to trick me into murdering her?
Okay.
Because she's trying to protect my NPC because she's dating my NPC. Because that's how that would work.
Sure.
So, what would be some...
Let's just assume all the NPCs are trying to trick us. And let's... like, half the people in the game are going to be real players, right? So you're going to be interviewing real players sometimes, but sometimes it'll be a real NPC. And they're going to be trying to trick you into thinking that they're yours. We're just going to make that part of the game.
Sure.
So you have to figure out what you would know that they wouldn't know.
Yes. And I think we're going to be able to, like, we might only ask you like 20 questions, but we got that good, personality test algorithms and stuff. So we're going to be able to figure out the rest of you from that. So you can be like, they didn't even ask me about banana runs. We're going to know. We're going to be able to algorithm it together, and we're going to know about the banana runs. So it's not just that. You can't just be like, well, I just said I like pepperoni pizza on the thing, so I'm just going to ask you how it feels about pizza. What can we call this? I think this is a good game, and I'm excited that everyone's going to want to play this, and all of the great things that will happen from all the... This was a good one that we did, and I'm I'm happy about the energy that this game is going to create in the universe.
I like how you're like gonna say glad and then you couldn't say it, so you just abandoned it and then went for happy.
Yes. I Porky Pigged it.
Okay, happy.
What can we call it?
Finding yourself and then killing yourself. No.
Is there... Can we just call it... What's that new movie coming out? Can we just call it You? No, it's Us. Yeah, well, we'll just call it You.
That would be really fun. It would also lead to a lot of jokes, like the Who's on First Base stuff. Hey, have you seen You? What? I'm right here. Classic comedy. 4 out of 5 stars.
Yes.
You.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a video game about you, called You, and it's not an elaborate plan to have our new AIs take over your life. Thank you for listening to this episode of GameMate Corp. We appreciate you, and we appreciate all of our investors, and more importantly, actually less importantly, because our investors are top tier, but below that tier is the people who go on iTunes and rate and review us and subscribe to us and like and comment on YouTube. All of those things put you at the second tier of greatness. Below that is pizza makers, because they're cool. But you could be any of those things if you do the right steps. Go to patreon.com/lastgeek, invest in the company, or rate and review us on iTunes. You could also be our Twitter followers by going to whatever Becker says next.
The moon. You can follow us on Twitter by going to the moon. We have a Twitter. It's called GameMate Corp. It's like at GameMate Corp. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it is. What's yours?
Mine mine's even better. It's at Dr. Becker's with a Z. Yeah. You can follow me on Twitch too if you want. Sometimes I'm there. It's at Dr. Becker's with an S. It wasn't that good branding. How about you, Bryce?
Mine's at twitter.com/lastgeek. And I have a YouTube. It's youtube.com/lastgeek. And then I have lastgeek.com where all these episodes are located. And it's good. So that's it. This is the end of the show. Beckers, would you like to say anything at the end?
So I would like to say that my favorite color is green. And remember, have fun.